Well, hello there, YouTube.
Since I'm like crazy busy at work, I can't even do a tune-up on my own demo at work. So I can't let this thing go any further. So I'm just gonna do the oil change tonight, and then I don't have the oil change kit, so I'll have to damn it, turn the key on. So I'll have to get the oil change kit tomorrow. But it was hot driving home from work, so I thought, well, we'll just dump this thing. So I'm gonna need a T45 Torx. Hope I can get to that oil filter. I've got a wrench I use at work. See, I need this, and I need a T30. I think even got a battery in it. C7 is spot. Oh, that is not good. This thing's real slow. I've got a newer version of this at work. Will swivel work? That should work. Let's see that drain plug. I might get in there. Probably sneak in there a little easier with this. So a T45 for the engine drain. T30 for the, oh, you know where I don't have? I don't have push pin pliers. Nope, I don't. Damn, I was gonna bring a set of those. I've got an extra set at work. I hate digging those things out with screwdrivers. But I've got these, they're push pin pliers. I don't know if I've got this camera at an angle that you're even going to be able to see this, but it's kind of awkward getting to this engine drain. And how I do it is I don't take it all the way out, and it saves you from the oil. There's a hole that the oil pours through in the skid pan, but if you drop it all at once, it kind of spins around, hits a pan, and runs along this pan underneath here, and it'll drip oil out the front of the bike for, well, about a week. If you do that to a customer's bike, they're convinced you've left a drain bolt loose. Ain't no way y'all gonna see that. But that's the drain bolt right there. If you can see that in any way. That's engine drain. It takes a T45, because you always spill something. I throw just a little something right there. Grab a hold over here. So there we are. And this drain plug, literally the second you break the seal on it, it starts leaking. I mean, instantly. So what I do is I reach in here. If y'all can see that, you're probably staring at my hand, I'm sure. It's too tight for me to do by hand. I've got nice swivel snap-on stuff at work that makes this real easy. You gotta get past, there's 2 O-rings on this drain plug. You gotta get them things so they'll get to the point where you can turn it by hand. It's really stiff because of the O-rings in there. Can you see the drain plug there, maybe? If I get the light just in the right spot. I have no idea if you can see that or not. But the whole time you're doing this, the oil's trying to shoot down your wrench at the same time. So I get her most of the way out, like so. You feel those O-rings biting, but you don't want to pull it all the way out. See the slow drain it's got, if you can see that. I know you're looking sideways, but so am I. But this is the worst part on the other side. This is where the major drain problem comes, because it'll shoot the oil. This will definitely put oil on the pan. And I've got red rags I use at work that I ball up, and I put them in there as a filter to stop it. and it's a 6mm. And these things have a habit of, oh really, I don't have a 3/8 cheater? I thought I had a 3/8 cheater. I got a quarter, I got a half. Anyway, you can kill your wrench with these things because they snap loose all of a sudden and it ratchets back. This is one of those goofy, a really cool customer actually gave me this thing, and it does work really nice. It's a Stanley, but in a weird spot you can get that thing in there. I just need to bust a bolt loose. So for doing this, you'll need an extra drain pan, and let's see if I can't. I'll just use a dirty old rag and stuff it in there. So you got to do the tranny side over here, and this thing will leak all over and go down the pan. It'll shoot right down this pan. You know you're doomed when you look inside there and you see oil. You got to take all this plastic off to get to that. And there's some push pins in there that takes essentially a special tool to do it. So the drain is right here. And there's no way I can get you to see it, but it's a 6mm Allen. It's on the over here on the clutch cover side, and it'll hit this pan and run along that pan. So what I tried to do is I tried to make a little barrier so that hopefully this works a lot better with a great big red shop towel. Just gonna ball it up. It's all still hot now. I just got home here a little bit. I was vlogging, but I did one of my forever long things. So I just kind of set that thing in that tray in hopes that if it does drain, I can catch it in time to stop it. Oh, shit. You guys are looking at the damn wing thing. Get this thing's high on my head. So all of that, y'all didn't see anything, probably. So it's a deep 6. Make sure it sinks into the nut quite a ways. See that pop? That'll take the head right out of your ratchet. So always use a cheater. God damn it! All my rags are on the other side. Cause this thing's, god dang it, this thing's gonna piss oil all over me. This is what I can't reach it. I would just use this one. This one will get you doused in pretty good with some nice hot oil. It's not real fun. So this one's got a magnet on it. The other one does not. And once I get this one draining, I'll pull. Actually, I can go ahead. No, I'll just keep it sort of slow. This thing's kind of like a Harley. It will. All right, it's gonna be hot. There's no way to do that quickly. This is where you can look and see what kind of stuff is growing inside your motor. You see our first oil change has this little tiny, no chunks of anything. You see them little slivers, but if you wipe them, they just kind of go away. It's just like a buildup. Now you hear that thing draining. I usually let them things go until they start to slow down, and I yank them out or put the new plug back in. Because when you let it sit there and drain, that's when it starts shooting over down and going down the side of the engine. So I'm hoping. Sorry for talking with a screwdriver in my mouth. I'm hoping this one. Oh, look at that. Nope, it's draining on the skid pan. No earthly idea. There must be a ridge or something, and the oil runs, and you can see it draining down the pan right there. Now let's take our dipstick out and free things up. These things are like a Harley though. You can see it take off over there on the engine side. So hopefully that's not draining. God damn it, I have the drain plug in it. Hopefully it's not draining inside the pan like it likes to do. Hopefully it just hit it and that was it. So I'll just let this thing sit here and drip. So let's just flip this. Make a little clean spot here. I'll take our dipstick out because it's going to get in the way of the cover. I'll crack this door right quick. And we'll let some light in here so we can see. How about that? So I need to take this body cover off. The oil filter is under here. So I'll just set these things on the floor so you guys can see how you pull these covers off. There's a little clip in there. Right behind there. You got to be careful you don't knock that thing off. This little clip that goes behind there. You want that to be behind there. And I'll show you guys the proper way to take an RT mirror off. People tend to pull on them, and you kill the mirrors when you do that. So there's a hanger on the top and then 2 push pins on the bottom. So put a little bit of weight on it. I'm not telling you to push on it, and just a light amount of weight on it. Slap back and then slap up. Slapping back will knock this pin out. Slapping up will knock this pin out. So you just pop it and then putting a little weight on here because you don't want to bust that hanger. You don't want the mirror to fly off either. Now you give it one slap up to knock the rear pin out. And there she is. And pull your cord out. You don't want that thing falling in there. It can be fun to dig back out. So what happens when you pull on them, you'll bow. Look at that. Somebody did that on this. Literally no one's taking this thing apart. So that's interesting. Huh. But anyway, that's what will happen. These things will bow. And they'll bow to a point that they get loose and they'll come off real easy. So this one's a hanger. It hangs on this one. And then these two pop on these little balls. But if you pull on it, you risk breaking your hanger off. You'll break the hanger right in that little groove right there. You'll just snap it off. And it snaps it off so clean you don't realize it's gone. Till you go to put the mirror on it, just nothing happens on the top. And then you finally find this little U-shaped piece of plastic laying somewhere and you go, well, hell. And so you don't scratch anything up, put it wire side down. BRP plastic is crazy resilient. You can, did I walk over here with that screwdriver? Yeah. So if you don't have push pin pliers, you pray the last person that worked on it left the pins in this angle, like this one is. Just reach up, just give it a slight little bump, and pull it till you feel a little click. Now, with my push pin pliers, there's actually a gap. You can see there's a gap right there. With my push pin pliers, I lift and I reach in and just pull up. So, pop that out of the way. I need to bring my buds home, or I can do that at work. We'll do a quick coolant check here. So you light your bottle, and you look underneath, and she's right at the minimum mark when not at full temp. So this is going to be a little different taking these wings off because I have the adjustable ones. You just pop them back. The other ones, this is exposed automatically. You take these two, takes a T30 Torx, and just, if you kind of hold it, you'll take the screws along with it. See, the screws are just hanging in there. Set that aside. Then you're going to take the upper right hand cover off. There's four screws with washers. For the love of God, don't lose your washers. You won't believe how many Spyders I work on that customers have been working on themselves and they lose the damn washers. Or I'll find the washers in places where washers aren't needed. So there's only 4 here, and all of these have washers. And then these you do not remove. If you see anything on a BRP with a safety Torx with a little pin in the middle, don't take it off. It's there for a reason. It's like a hint. Don't take this off. These are there so that if you break the little side cover nipple, you can replace it. See, it's a nipple. It's a fixed nipple. But if you break one, you can use the safety Torx and take them out. For the love of God, don't take them out. That's the other thing I see. They come in with a little bag of bolts and go, let these out, but I can't get them back in. But luckily the nipple stays in the rubber boot most of the time. And you can get this audible cover off of here without removing this pin, but makes it... Oh, this is another thing. And I'm not sure if this is just a shipping thing or what. But ever since 2013, they've been putting these little squares here, and it rides underneath that cover. Every one of them pushes out and falls off. If I see them and I save them, I put them back. They literally serve no purpose. Nothing hits them. But taking this one out gives you a little slack, and this will become clear to you here in a second. So I'll just set this one in here. Use the Spyder as a workbench. So you got 2 audible cover screws here, and these are longer than the rest of the screws. So don't mix these up, because this is a support for your frame or your fairing. And you can see it's framed, but it's longer screws, so they have more support. And watch stuff rolling around, because it'll fall down in there on your gas tank, and it drops into no man's land. You never see it again until you take shit apart. There's one push pin cover here. Pop that out, and then with this loose, it allows you to snake the audible cover out. And so it does 2 things. It reduces engine noise, and this is a support for the frame. And if you have a 2013 that's getting the heat kit on it, this whole thing is replaced with a metal bar, because a big scoop gets put here, and this would block the air and allows the air from the scoop to just blast down inside there. So there's the audible cover, and from there, sitting there staring right at us, is the oil filter. And it's just like BRP boats. It's a top loader. There's the motor. You can see the right hand cylinder. You can see the oil cooler, which is a liquid oil cooler. There's your water pump. You can see that big old plastic water pump. And there's backside of your alternator. Anyway, that's a 36mm socket. I think I have an American equivalent to a 36. If not, the filter's gonna have to wait until tomorrow. I don't remember which one of these is it. In our dual vlog yesterday, I was telling you guys about these 3/4 inch sockets I have, and only had one adapter for adjusting the chain on the street glide, and it takes both of these sockets. It's they don't fit perfect. They're not actually the correct size, but it gets it done. You got to do what you got to do. But when you buy these funky big sockets, you got to have an adapter for everything. I'm thinking this is going to be my 36 equivalent here. Yeah, it's going to be it. Yeah. So this is not what I normally use, so hope this fits in here. Oh, hell yeah. Flip her over and just get her loosened up. And don't over tighten this thing when you go back on. And for the love of God, buy the BRP oil change kit. You get all these O-rings, all the sealing washers. There's 2 O-rings and a sealing washer on the engine drain. There's a aluminum sealing washer on the engine drain. When I pull that out, I'll show you. And then there's a copper sealing washer, which you've seen on that drain plug when I had it out. And this is the same as the this is the same engine drain plug and the same engine sealing washer for the V-twins. But this is the clutch drain on a 1330 triple. Anyway, once you get this loose, you just spin her out here a little bit. And this thing will drizzle a little bit, so I use up that rag or I just toss it down somewhere. Good old blue Scotch towels. These things, 1,000,001 uses. So you don't want any crap oozing around on yours or your customer's bike. So lift this thing out with a towel. The oil change kit comes with all 3 of these O-rings. And BRP, when I pull this drain plug out, the drain's never been pulled out of this thing. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to prove to you why you need to replace these O-rings. But anyway, it comes with all the O-rings, sealing washers, and the 2 O-rings on the engine drain. And I don't really have a safe place to put this. I'm going to let it drain into that oil drain over there. So again, ooh, that son gun is hot. God damn. So it's a filter with a hole in it. This is a new filter for the 1330s. Don't get confused. And by the way, the oil change kit comes with yeah, there's a little bit of something going on there. It's not unusual to see in a filter on the first service. Yeah, there's no chunk of anything. It's just crap. If your filter gets super plugged, it'll actually implode. That little metal thing in there will implode. You know, when you see that, that's not a good thing. The old HCM, the hydraulic control module filters for the twins, before they went to the new model, had would collapse. Yeah, see, that's just nice and clean in there. Abby, are you coming to visit, huh? What's going on? How's the world treating you? You old black-tongued dog. Is it hot and muggy enough out there for you? You drinking all the horses' water? He goes, hell yeah. Oh yeah. Crazy old Abby. Little Miss Curious. She's into everything. I think she's over a year old now. And she acts like she's about 6 weeks old. She's just dingbat. Yeah. Oh, Abilene. You are a nut. And she's affectionate with her mouth. She just wants a nibble on everything. What is that? You don't like the smell of that, do you? But she'll come up and she'll nibble on your hand. She don't bite you. She just nibbles on you. She's been that way since she was a little bitty puppy. Everything, she has to feel everything with her mouth. Freaks people out. She comes up to nibble on their fingers and toes and everything else. Ah, the dog's trying to bite me. Where? Anyway, from there you just you put drain plugs and new washers and O-rings and whatever back in there, and you fill it up with oil. The container comes with 6 quarts, and you usually don't need more than the first 5. Well, it's still draining over here, but I think we got enough relief here that Abby, you are not helping. You're not helping. That's not a help. I'm gonna pull the skin off your neck if you don't back up. Come on, Abby. She goes, but you're on the ground. That means it's playtime. Usually I don't pull this thing until it's it stopped draining a little more than it is. Let's see if I can get the light in here and not get in your way. I don't know if you can see that at all. But even though it's barely draining, you'll be surprised how much oil is still being held behind that last O-ring. She'll come gushing out of here. You gotta kind of get your drain pan in the way. Oh yeah. She had plenty of oil left in there. Look at that. But I'm doing all this. When I'm doing the service at work, just gotta make sure it doesn't catch that damn pan. If it catches that pan, you just won't believe the mess I'll have to clean up. It's just a huge disaster. It'll snag that. Oh, damn it, it did. It'll snag that pan and just shoot all over the place. Let's see where it's hit it. It's not a good sign. I do not want to take this thing apart. I will really be pissed. It's bad enough when I have to do it with a customer's bike. But like I say, I usually do this slower. Did it get inside there? No, it looks like it just touched it. Well, the ways you can tell though, take your flashlight and look down in here. If you see oil moving along the trough down there, you're in trouble. And I'm telling you, it's a pain in the ass to have to take that off. You don't want any part of that. But this is the engine drain. This is an elaborate son of a gun. You got two different O-rings. And look at this. The first, well, there's a little nick in it. The first one in a long time that's not cut. Actually, that is cut, isn't it? No. 99% of the time, that green O-ring is ripped to pieces. I think BRP just, a machine or something just goes brah, and crams that thing in there. So what I use is this Yamaha brake caliper grease. It's also a dielectric grease. It's just a all-purpose like electric type grease and stuff. And I use that to I lightly lube these things when I put it back in, and that keeps getting oil all over my thing there. And I think I took my pocket knife out. I did. But the oil change kit, and I wouldn't run anything but the BRP XPS oil in here. It's a summer blend. It says, you know, it's a semi-synthetic, or what they call a blend. But we just went through a training thing for it was an update for 2015 Spyders, and their blend, it's 70% synthetic. There's no blended oil that you can get that has 70% synthetic in it. I'm telling you, it's usually about 10% if you're lucky. But one of the things when you're putting this thing back together with your new O-rings, you want to make sure you put the sealing washer on first, and then put the smaller green one on so that the black one doesn't get caught in the first hole. So you put your sealing washer on, and I don't mind fighting it over the O-ring because I'm not going to reuse the O-ring. But you'll cut the O-ring if you don't put the sealing washer on first, because you got to force it past that O-ring. So anyway, put your sealing washer on, put the green smaller one on, and then roll the black one over the green one. It'll just sail right over it. But usually all this stuff comes in a bag, and I use a pair of scissors to open the bag. You can see it falls in there, and now you're fighting it twice. But it is slightly larger. But I have a pair of scissors, and I just kind of bow it and take the scissors and go fing, and I cut the O-rings. So anyway, when you go back together, sealing washer, green O-ring to fill the hole, and then the black O-ring will roll right over the green one and fall in its hole. And if you look, you'll see that there's a deeper groove because the green O-ring is smaller than the black one. So that's the order which they all go. But put that sealing washer on first, because if you don't, that sealing washer, especially new, is kind of sharp. and you can nick the black O-ring. It'll sail right over the green one, but it'll nick the black one. And this is different chambers in the engine that these O-rings are blocking off. There's one that as soon as you break that thing free, there's a chamber here that lets oil out, and then there's a chamber here as you back out. That one lets go, and then that O-ring, the green O-ring, is still kind of hanging on at the end. So that's why when you just down to a slow trickle and you take the plug the rest of the way out, you'll get that next rush of oil. So there's like 3 chambers that's being drained out of this thing. And I'll blast this thing off with brake cleaner. I actually had Kelly grab me a couple cans because I ran out because I had to spray the around the oil filter on the Street Glide, because I didn't buy one of those fancy oil filter funnels. And I have they're kind of expensive. It's called a Forma funnel. It's this green rubber funnel that's got it's like lead or something. It's soft metal that's pliable. Malleable. You can twist it in whatever shape you want. But I make a cup out of it. I just form it into a U cup, slide it under the oil filter, and then where it comes out, I fold it over and make a little trough, so it'll just run down the cup, down the little trough, and right into your drain pan. I always do that with the Harleys, but I don't have that here. T45 Torx. I'll be trying to stick an Allen in that thing. It's a T45. So remember that, and use a good torque wrench. I've found seized in, well, not the Torx yet, but on the twins, where people use them little tool kits with the little bits, and the bit only doesn't go all the way in, so they start to strip the drain plug, because the Allens on the drain plugs, like I can show you on the other side, it goes in really deep, and those little kits don't go in deep enough, and them drain plugs are hell for tight, and they'll get it to break free, but they actually slightly stripped it so the bit sticks in the hole. Then I got to deal with that thing when they come in the first time. You know how many of those things I beat out, then had to use a good snap-on socket and beat the socket into the bolt because they've ruined it. So there's nothing else I can do to it until I have an oil change kit. So engine drain, do it slow, or you'll be taking all this shit apart, and there's where that skid pan, there's a bolt underneath here, so you you gotta take the side cover off, and this is a quick access cover here, just for the old twins. See, that's loose, it's not pinned in, but the twins, they had an oil change kit, so you didn't have to take this whole side cover off, and they just continue to use that on the 1330s. So you just loosen this, and there's two push pins. Pull the push pins out, and that thing, whoop, and it just slips out without having to take this off. If you have a twin, you don't have that quick oil change kit on there, you have to take this cover off first. There's a little series of bolts, and the book will tell you to take this off, take that screw out, pull the push pins out, and just bow out, and you can get the or the little side cover grommet things, the little tits out there. But pull that out, and you can get the push pin here and the bolt here, and then one bolt there, and then one at the top, and 3 along the inside of the saddlebag. And you can pull that out without taking that off, so you don't have to take the mirror and the wing and all that stuff off. It's easy to do. Like, I'm gonna show you over here. But you have to take this one screw out. So take that one screw out and pop them out of the grommets. And you can bow this thing up enough that you can push this push pin out, and you can even reach in. I do it all the time. You can bow it out. It comes out enough. You can reach in with electric tool. And anyway, there's an oil change. Well, I haven't finished. I got to put the filter and stuff in. But I hate doing this stuff at home. It's nice having this thing up on the rack, and everything's quick. I got tools that I know that works, and they work quickly. You just bing, bing, bang, boom, you're done. You buy the BRP oil change kit. Comes with everything you need. The best oil you're going to put in this thing. I don't give a crap what you believe and what you read. I'm telling you, I don't give a crap. Put the BRP XPS oil in this thing. Make sure it's a summer grade. And better yet, don't worry about it. Buy the oil change kit. You reuse that brass washer, they gall and it'll leak. And I hate to think using that little old skinny aluminum one, reusing that. People all the time come in and just buy the oil for it. I'm changing the oil. They'll buy the oil and the oil filter. Well, we got the oil kit that you save. I don't need all that stuff. Them O-rings are fine. It's like, get their name, because when they come in for a warranty thing because their motor burn up, oh yeah, I remember you. But best oil ever. And if you look around here, you'll see that oil laying around for all the motorcycles here. As we get these little half quarts, we save them up. You can see they're all open and leaky, but we save these things up. And my kid and I, on all the little pit bikes and stuff, they all get BRP oil in there. My street bikes, I use Motor X. I spend the extra money on that, but that's a personal thing with me for a long time. But I use BRP oil and everything else. You ought to be part of a dealer network and watch what they go through with that stuff. And it's blended at the Castrol plant. And people go, well, I'll just buy Castrol. It's the same stuff. No, it's not. It is not. It's BRP has hired Castrol to build their oil to their specs. It's not Castrol oil. They're using Castrol, there's a base. It's either Shell or Mobil. There's only 2 oils in the world that's being used to make engine oils. For any modern brand oil anyway. Who knows about other stuff, but anyway, it starts out with that, and depends on how they purify. You ought to see what BRP oil looks like. They purify it to a point it is as clear as fresh water in a glass. Has no odor, no smell. That's how deeply they refine their oil. That's not how Castrol does it. That's how Castrol does it to BRP specs. All these manufacturers, like Kendall used to do Honda oils, and Honda oils were some of the most famous oils around. Still are. For petroleum-based oils. And they're, I don't know who does it for Honda now. I don't know if it was Kendall oil that was doing it years ago, but it's not Kendall oil with an additive, and it's called Honda oil. Kendall is taking a base stock and refining it to Honda specs. Honda doesn't have an oil refinery, so they hire these people, and there's literally a whole division, like at BRP, there's a whole division of Castrol that has nothing to do with Castrol, but they make BRP oils. This goes way deeper than you think. Use BRP oil in these things. You are asking for it. I know people that don't, and they come in, my cam chain tensioner isn't making noise. I don't know why I keep going through clutches. I'm using only Castrol oil in there. Oh my God. Some of the other brands, I love the guys that oil's oil. Doesn't matter. It's all Mobil or Shell base. Yeah, that's how it came out of the ground. But what happened to it, before it went in your motor is what counts. But the damn kid washed this thing with hand soap. I was talking about that, I think this morning. Look at that thing shine. Hand soap. It's the stuff they use in our bathrooms throughout all of our corporate thing. He takes a little drop of it, cleans it perfectly fine, leaves no spots anywhere, and just leaves a sheen on this thing like he polished it with something. He didn't do anything. He literally washed it, and that's what it looks like. And no dust is sticking to it. And that's the other weird thing. It's almost like it's like got some magnetic thing that distracts dust from sticking on. It's crazy as hell. I need to figure out what that is. Like Kelly says, he goes, well, if our corporate uses it, we've got to be able to buy a gallon of it. I will use that shit all the time for, well, I can't use it on this. Or the iron over there, but I can use it on everything else. Hell, use it on my car. That is some magical stuff. And he did it in the sunshine. and there's not a water spot or soap spot anywhere, and the water just literally falls off of it. And it's not greasy. You think as shiny as it is, got to be greasy. Nope. And this thing went on a trip with the Spyder Rider group. Took this thing to one of our customers and one of the members of the group. So this thing's already been on a trip. There's not a speck of dust on it. It's just whatever that soap has in it, it doesn't attract dust. Crazy as hell. I don't know what it is. It's just in some white generic bottle. And when you wash your hands with it, it's like some girly stuff. It's all greasy feeling, you know. But, you know, when you rinse it off, it all comes off nice and clean. So, I don't know. Never heard of using hand soap to wash a motorcycle, but I'll be figuring out what that stuff is and buying me a gallon of it. But crazy, huh? All right. Well, this has gone like 9 miles too long. I've probably been out here for 45 minutes. I'll never use this video. Hell, it might have been over an hour. Probably about out of batteries or memory card or something. And this has an internal battery. This is the old Hero 4 Session stuck on my head. Oh, I thought I turned the lights off on that thing. I guess I didn't. Anyway, that's it, y'all. See ya. At least I know it's recording. It's still flashing. I'll if I can do something with this and kind of cut it down so it's usable, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll show you putting it back together. If I don't know, this might be, I might look at it tonight and it's junk and won't do anything with it. But wow, is it humid out here? Holy moly, man! You couldn't swing a 2x4 in the air. That thing would slow down to half speed. I'm just gonna leave them tools laying right there. I'm gonna turn the light off. I'm gonna go inside, and I need to build the video I did of flashing that thing so I can post that in the morning for y'all. Take my key. My backpack's out here somewhere because I took the session out of it. Anyway, I'll chit chat with you folks, gals and girls, and peoples of the world. I'll talk to you later. I know this thing's crazy long, so I'll be doing some. If I have to cut them up too much, I just don't use them. I don't have the time to sit there and goof with them. How long have I been out here, would you guess?
A long time.
What would you guess?
Probably an hour and a half.
Oh my God. I hope not, because I've been pretty much recording the whole time.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I can hack up that thing. The poor old Hero 4 Session, she's probably up there in meltdown mode. I'll probably have a red spot on my forehead from the camera. Yeah, I said I thought I had the light off. Maybe the light is the thing going overheat, overheat, overheat. Warning, warning. Limp home mode, limp home mode. Anyway, see you guys later. Thanks for watching now. Bye-bye.